All right, everyone. It must be Thursday. Welcome to the show. I'll just give. I know you guys are just waiting for the giveaways, anyways. That's why everyone is here. So we'll just say it right off the rip. Tonight's giveaway is going to be a secret. So if we hit 30, Tan's going to keep an eye on it. And Tan's back with us. Where's Tan? There
Hi.
she is. Tan's back with us. So Tan's going to keep an eye on it. And if we hit 30, she's going to pop in and let us know. And I think Tan's going to come up with a hashtag tonight. And then the hashtag will enter you in to win. I just have to figure out what we're going to give away. That's why it's a secret at this point.
That's always the hard part.
Yeah, don't tell anyone now. Really cool show tonight, actually. A little bit different than, just having vendors on and talking to vendors and stuff, because we are all inclusive here and we want to include everybody. And in my eyes, there's a lot of talented people in this business, like a lot.
I agree.
And in my eyes, these are one of the two most talented people that I know. And they all take up their own respective fields and do a lot of things. And I'm super excited about this. I can't wait. What about you?
I'm excited. I've never met them before, but they seem like very, very spooky people.
Yeah, it's very much so. I know Joe in passing. Him and I have spoken in passing before, but I'm very, very aware of his work. And Emma Von Zombie and I go back a few years, and the stories that we could tell. We've had some good times together. I don't know how you been, Tane. We missed you the last couple of weeks. How you been?
I have been busy with college and acting. So
College?
Yeah.
College.
I know. That's what I told my parents. I've met a couple haunt actors with a college degree, but it's not in scaring.
But don't your parents work for you? Like,
see, you're gonna get me in trouble.
I'm just saying, if they work for you,
we're even business owners.
Gotcha. I got you. All right. Well, we'll get right into it with the amazing Emma Von Zombie.
Hi, guys.
There she is. What's going on, girl? It's been a long time.
I know. It's been too long.
I miss all of you guys up there.
Well, you haven't been. And is that a Basement of the Dead shirt I see?
It is. Representing. For those of you who don't know, Emma is a part of the Basement of the Dead crew, but I don't think you're there anymore.
I know. I miss my home away from home is no longer my home away from home. I got a second home. It's closer to my home. So
but it's still part of the Basement of the Dead umbrella.
I know, and I miss it.
It's not all bad.
Yeah.
But we'll get into that in a second, because I want to talk about you and what you've been up to lately.
So besides starting at their new location that the owners of Basement of the Dead have bought out, Disturbia Haunted House, that's now out of Downers Grove, Illinois. So I've been there going on my second year now. Finally got the makeup room of my dreams. It's huge. It's large. It's in charge. It's everything. It kind of looks like a tattoo studio right now, the way we did it up. So we coated the floor, and like there's LED lights in there. Like you could film TikToks in there. Like that's how cool it looks, which I have filmed a lot of TikToks in there. So besides that, I've been doing some costume concepts. I built a whole new character, no longer a clown, doing all that fun stuff. And I love my new character. She's a step towards what I originally came in and started haunting with. Is kind of just like this very creepy, methodical, very feminine character, and I love her. So she's become a staple.
Let's talk about Zoe for a second.
That one. Okay.
Because Zoe, I mean, is iconic. I mean,
I actually got the wig right here.
if you are a haunt enthusiast in the Chicagoland area, Fluffy, Sharky, and Zoe. Like, like those are like the top three that you know.
Well, then there was Sugar Daddy too, but he's since
Sugar Daddy. Oh God, Sugar Daddy.
long live Sugar Daddy.
Yes. Where does Zoe come from? How did Zoe come to be Zoe?
So real talk, I was super embarrassed of not my inspiration from it, but I did take a lot of inspiration from Tessa Zombie, who was out of Texas, I think Houston, Texas. I can't remember the name of the haunt. It was creepy something. And she actually had like a big character of a clown with a lot of bows in their hair. And I was like, oh my God, I love that concept. So it was for a charity event that I kind of redid that makeup, came down, and then Jason's like, you're going to be outside. And I was like, shit. I was like, I mean, I got to do this makeup on all the time now. So then once my first go at it, I started to change it and alter it, and it ended up just becoming a 7-year-old giant, tall, immature version of myself. So that's what it just turned into.
Well, she's always been more than just the makeup and the costume and the boots. When you get out there, I mean, I've seen you work firsthand. You and I worked together many a nights. I'm going to be honest with you. It's almost exhausting watching you. Like,
I have heard that a lot. It definitely takes a lot of stamina, a lot of energy, and a lot of pre-workout before going out there. So,
well, and on top of that, you are in the makeup room for 2.5, 3 hours prior to.
Yeah. Doing everybody else's makeup, but then that warms me up for my own thing. So I'm watching everybody else get like hyped up. They're all getting in their zone. And that's kind of like when you get off your regular day job or regular school and you come into this environment, you have to kind of change and alter to what everything that society and normie society doesn't want you to be. You can put yourself aside. It's basically improv. It's doing everything that you love involving scare acting, every scary movie that you've seen, every inspiration that you've seen of creepiness factors, and taking that and allowing you to live in that environment. And I see these kids like sit there and they're kind of like just talking about their day, and then they'll start to giggle and laugh and like talk in their character voice. And sometimes it's like, all right, chill, like you're not even like out there yet. Save your energy. But I'll watch them like kind of change into that. And I was like, it's so much fun to watch them like alter from regular normal life into this actor life. So it's very fun. It's very interesting. It's freeing almost. So
now Basement of the Dead, they have a very unique atmosphere. And
yes.
they're I want to say one of the first ones to kind of do it. And there's a lot of other places that have adapted it, but very few do it as well as Basement of the Dead, to the point when people leave the attraction, they don't leave. They hang out. They stay there. They stay in the queue lines. They stay up in the parking garage. I mean, they stay and they party and they hang out. Now, with that being said, I've been with you on some crazy nights. We've lit the queue line on fire before. We've ate crickets before. We've done a lot of stuff. But what is one of your favorite nights at Basement of the Dead?
I would say it's those crazy nights where we're having to go through and kind of pump the kids up. There's a certain energy that you feel on either a really powerful like Friday or a Saturday. I feel like those are the two most like powerful nights. Like Thursday, you're kind of getting into the motions of everything. Friday, you know what you did last night, so now you're gonna do it better tonight. Saturday, everybody's up on their game. And it seems like when you walk through and these kids are getting a lot of good scares, and the crowd is really responsive to being, entertained, and they're not like, nobody's like reacting as poorly or like, being standoffish, but it's the hype of the music, the environment, making everything feel like a giant Halloween party every single night is I feel like it just pumps everybody up. It gets everybody in the mood, in that nostalgic feeling of, going to a Halloween party for every single weekend. And it's not even the scares. It's just more entertaining. It's hearing those chainsaws go. It's hearing all the pop scares go off. It's hearing all the air cannons go off. It's seeing girls go like like that, and like the boyfriend's like jumping also as well while they like, grasp their chest, and I just think it's so much fun. So it's the hype of the air.
Now, with your makeup,
Mhm.
you have absolutely like unmatched skill, in my opinion, when it comes to makeup and stuff. Like, you are insanely talented. And I remember times sitting in your chair and I was just like, whatever, to do whatever you're feeling. And it, just every single time, just nails it. Every time a person's come sit in your chair, you nail it every single time. How do you come up with these concepts and techniques and all these things that you do in a very, very small amount of time?
Well, how I started off was I was actually going to school to learn more biology and anatomy. I kind of took a lot of intro to nursing classes because I wanted to do what was it? Anatomy, like drawing for anatomy textbooks. I can't remember what it's called. There's a title for it. So I just learned a lot of like the facial structures, the bone structures, knowing where to contour, knowing where to highlight, and then just kind of taking the classic monster. And I always loved zombies, so always went off of that for reference. I use zombie for literally every single reference. If it's a clown, I still hollow out the same way. You just add more color on top of it. We're just doing ghoulish makeup, still zombie. You're still hollowing out the same cheekbones, the same facial structure. So it's like there's a pattern to it every single time. But then after, networking with so many more makeup artists that are in this industry, I'm learning so many tips and tricks, especially from like Michael Green at Pro Air. He is amazing. I learned a lot of tips and tricks from him. Did a lot of understudying under Kyle Vest. A lot of tips that I've learned from David Bronner from Little Spiders Creations. So, and Alejo from Laurel Haunted House.
So what are some of your favorite makeups you've
done? I would say, man, there's one recent one where I call him my piggy. He's just like my little 6-titty piggy. And he was actually, that style was inspired by, what is his name? I can't remember. It's that Massacre. Oh, it'll come to me. But he actually did the original 6-titty on this really big guy. And we ended up just making it his character as well. So he's just this big boy with 6 titties, and we find it really funny. So doing like the body makeup is probably my top favorite right now of doing. So I'm definitely wanting to expand more than just the face. I also like doing bug creations on people's faces, kind of making them look like little arachnids with a bunch of eyes. And then the tryptophobia makeup with a lot of holes in it. So I like making the skin looks like it's like stretched out. So
now, if it wasn't enough that you're a talented actress and you're a talented makeup artist, you are also a talented, I don't know what's the word for it, costumier.
Yeah. Yeah, sure. Costume designer or whatever, costumier.
Yeah.
Like that.
You have just an absolute incredible array. I mean, it's almost like every time I see you post something during haunt season, you're almost in like a different costume. You have off-season night costumes. You have, I mean, just it's a mind-blowing how many costumes that your character
I have a
will
whole little
wear.
display right here of like all of my
But
all of my
it's just not your character. You do it for other people as well.
Yes. Yeah, I try and help people out with their concepts as much as possible. If they come up to me, they're like, "Hey, I have an idea. How does this sound to you?" And I'll be like, "Well, you know what? That kind of reminds me of this inspiration." I said, like taken from this movie, or I'll send them a lot of Pinterest links. I'll be like, does this kind of look like what you're imagining? And it's just kind of working with kids and bringing something to life. And it's like, okay, I kind of know the tones and the textures that you want to add in. So it's coming up with a color palette first, and then a rough outline design like that you can see in your head. So I like drawing up a lot of the shadow figures of these outlines for costumes. And then it's like, unless I, see something in my head beforehand, otherwise I won't really be like inspiration, I don't know, Tim Burton, or like Dark Crystal is a lot of inspiration for like the style and the design that I like to use. So
Dark Crystal, that's a throwback.
yeah, right.
I haven't heard that in so long. Now I want to watch Dark Crystal. Like, you want to talk about a freaky movie? Like,
Right.
when you watch it as a kid, you're like, "Oh, this is kind of cool." Blah blah blah. When you watch it as an adult, you're like, "This is horrendous. Like, this is like children are watching this. Like, what is going on?"
Jim Henson had a lot of weird things in that little creative mind he had. What is it? Labyrinth also
Yeah,
also had some like really weird creatures to it. Like
Labyrinth
uh
had some really
Hoggith.
crazy undertones to it.
What was it? Hogarth? The gremlin guy?
Yeah.
He freaked me out. He freaked me out so bad.
So again, to add to your resume, there's more. Of course, there's more.
More.
There's set designing. There's set designing and painting and
Oh
3D
yeah.
painting and um I mean the list goes on. And that's just things that I know of. Like, I'm sure there's a plethora of other things that you got going on. But tell us some about your set designing and your painting and things like that for that.
Well, I definitely haven't done too much set designing since COVID, because I kind of had to get a full-time job. So I have my normal job now. So but definitely prior to COVID, I was working very closely with Senecers and Legendary Escape Games and Basement of the Dead. We were constantly doing resets on the inside of Basement, as I was helping a lot and trying to learn the techniques of like the 3D blacklight art. So working a lot with wildfire paint, working a lot with Pittsburgh paints, airbrushing, using Stuart Smith as a huge inspiration for a lot of set designing, because I love the Stewartism design. I'd love to incorporate that in with anything. I still have yet to meet him, so I was very sad that I didn't get to go to Fear Expo, this latest one, because I wanted to make a trip out there, but the timing did not pan out right.
Yeah, he was down there. He was Joe was down there. A lot of Little Spider was down there. Michael Green was down there. I mean, everybody was down there.
I know.
It was a lot of fun. We'll get you out. You
I
next time you want to go, you let me know. I'll take care of you. We'll get you out there. But you got to bring that hunk of a wrestler boyfriend of yours.
Oh, that guy?
No, you have. There's no that guy. He's got to come.
You know what? It happened to be around the same time as his birthday. So the recent expo that fell was around the same time as his birthday. So
is Tom there?
I think he's in the tub. I think
Okay.
I think he's drowning.
We would have thrown him a birthday party if he would have. So, anyways, now for the tough questions. Here we go.
I don't like tough.
if you had to pick one of these skills that you have, that's the only one you can do. All the rest of them have to go away. But you can do it 24/7, get paid millions of dollars for it, and just have fun doing it. What would it be?
Makeup. That's it.
Really? Makeup?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Why is that?
You want the real answer?
Yeah, of course.
I'm getting too old.
Yeah, I feel that.
I'm getting too old to be getting all gussied up and all dressed up and then going out there and breaking my back for hours on end. Like it's starting to take a toll. So that's the real answer. I love set design, but I also like to breathe as well. So using a lot of the overspray of the paint definitely started to mess with my sinuses a whole lot. But makeup, no problem. Keep them coming. I'll just let me have them all day. Just in between, like I need little hand massages. That's it. That's all I require. But
well, I mean, I've been in plenty of makeup rooms in my day, and those aren't the best on the sinuses either.
you know what? That's fine.
That's fine. Still taking
It's
it.
just a little bit, and plus, like Pro Air and Endura all smell like perfume, so I'd rather smell that than the smell of aerosol or spray paint any day.
So, what does the future look like for Emma Von Zombie?
I'm trying to span out as far as going and doing more body painting for either contests, trying to work with bigger canvases, and doing a lot more photo shoots with characters, being more behind the scenes as like helping other people who want to get themselves out there to get them prepped or more exposure. I definitely want to help more people out in growing their concepts and their characters, and in turn kind of grow myself as well.
So, tell everybody, where can we find Emma Von Zombie physically on the webs? If somebody wants to book you, how do they get a hold of you? Tell us where to find you.
Well, I do respond to my emails. I have emmavonzombie666@yahoo.com. The Facebook page that I do have up is Emma Von Zombie with an umlaut O. So that's just the one that I post all my regular stuff on. Also through my regular Facebook is Emma F. and Johnson. That's my personal page where I usually just do a lot of my, shit posting, whatever. But my Emma Von Zombie page, you can get a hold of me on either or, and also Instagram where it's also Emma Von Zombie. So.
What about this TikTok page of yours?
Oh yeah, my TikTok. That I can also respond over to, but I feel like it's less informal, and that's kind of just for whatever. TikTok's kind of dying on me.
Yeah, but people can see where you're up to, right?
Yeah, that's true.
And where are you going to be at come October?
I am still going to be at Disturbia. So I am considering for the MHC tour, which are you possibly going to be coming to MHC?
I will not be at MHC this year. I have other obligations I have to take care of that weekend, which is a bummer.
Steve.
I got old too, okay?
Steve.
I have things I gotta do.
We haven't seen you in forever.
I know. I'm gonna make a trip up there. I promise you soon. I haven't. I haven't because just like you, I got old too, and I got off the road. My knees don't work anymore. That's what I'm actually going to be talking to Joe with about next, because my knees are shot from 10 years of sledding around on the ground.
You don't say.
Yeah. And believe it or not, it's, everybody thought the fire was going to be the one that got me. And it was like, no, it definitely was the sliding.
Them slidings.
Yeah, I can't do it anymore. I cannot. I remember the days when you'd get done with the show and everybody's like, "Oh, we're gonna go party. We're gonna go hit the Waffle House. We're gonna go do this. We're gonna do that." And now I'm just like, I'm gonna go take a nap and I'm gonna die a little bit because I want to go back to a bed. I'm so tired. It's weird. It's strange. The
I'm gonna go pop
body is
a
willing.
couple muscle relaxers and pass out.
Like I really want to go. Like I miss it, but like my joints don't. So
Well, you don't have to be sliding around at MHC. You can still come out to Chicago.
yeah, I know. I promise you, I will make a trip out there sooner than later.
Okay,
Um,
other obligations.
I'm gonna come see you guys soon. I promise you, very very soon.
Okay.
All right. Emma, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. You are a rock star. I love you to death. I love all of you guys up there in the basement of the dead umbrella out there. So next time you see everybody, you send them my love.
Well, you haven't even been to Disturbia yet, so you got to
And
come there
the
too.
last time, believe it or not, the last time I was at basement for the weekend, I was supposed to go to Disturbia, but then Jason wouldn't let me. Jason was like, "No, you have to stay at basement." I was like, "Oh, all right."
What does he like own you or something? Come on, just go.
For that weekend, he did. That's just how that went. So
It's technically the same owner, so you just be like, "Oh,
I
I got
know
confused. Oops, went to the
I, mi-
wrong place."
I missed it by that much. So, but thank you again so much for being on the show. We'll get you out to Fear Expo. I promise you. We'll figure it out. I will come see you up in Chicago. I promise you. It's gonna
Okay.
happen sooner than later. You're not that far away from me. Cleveland's not that far too. You and Tom can come up and visit me.
I've never been to Ohio.
Well, I mean, Sandusky, where Cedar Point's at, that's cool. So.
That's the only thing I've heard.
All right, Emma, I'll let you go. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
All right, I think we lost Tayan though. Hold on. Now I gotta. There we go. All right. I think we lost Tayan though. I don't know if her power went out or what happened with that, but it happened. So, good news is that Vic from Monster Misfits has decided to sponsor tonight's show, and he wants to give away 8 ounces of his blood. So, if we hit 30, and then we will have the hashtag Monster Misfits, and you will be entered in to win for 8 ounces of blood. I have, hold on, there's a, yes, I am that old, Vicky. I am. My knees tell a story, I promise you that. So speaking of, somebody can probably tell you more about that than I can. I don't know if this man needs an introduction or not, but if you have ever seen the internet and you're a haunt enthusiast, you know who Joe is coming up. So we're gonna bring him on right now. Where's he at? Where's he at? Come on.
Hello. Can you see
There he
me?
is.
Hello.
Now, I was going to attempt to pronounce your last name, but I've heard it pronounced 3 different ways in like the past 2 years. So
Yeah.
why don't you just nail it for us and get it out of the way?
Yeah, it's just Bodkin, Bodkin.
Bodkin.
Yep, Joseph Bodkin.
See, I've heard Bodkin, I've heard Bodkin,
Yep.
and then I've heard Boykin, which I don't even know.
I don't know. There's no Y in it. There's
Yeah.
no I. Everybody gets kind of tripped up on it, so it's another reason just having Pongo Joe, something that rhymes, what was easy enough.
So, speaking of Pongo, when it comes to stunt actors, there's 2 people that come to mind, and everybody says the same thing. One Slider Jesus, and the other one is you.
Yep.
You guys, started separately, and luckily you guys came together, and you guys are doing a lot of really cool stuff. But even before you guys came together, the two of you were taking sliding to a whole different plane of existence. Like, I remember, over 10 years ago when I got started into sliding and I was
Hmm.
doing it, it was this like really cool thing. Not a lot of people have seen sliders. And,
Yeah.
and then like all of a sudden overnight, like everybody saw sliders, and the whole trend started to like die down a little bit. And then all of a sudden the two of you just come kicking in the door, and now it's awesome. It's like super, super cool now to
Uh,
have this.
I'll,
Tell
t-
me.
I'll tell you how and where it happened exactly. So sliding has always been popular, but it was very confined to the Halloween haunt, not Scary Farm in California. Before TikTok, and even Instagram for that matter, there were sliders on YouTube, and that's how many people saw it first. But somewhere around 2020, when this pandemic started heating up, everybody decided to get on TikTok. I'd been making videos and sliding stuff for years on Instagram, but it always stayed kind of underground, and it didn't quite. It would, I'd get a couple videos that got like, I don't know, 2,000, 3,000 views, but nothing like crazy substantial. It was still very kind of underground. And then me and Cody, old Slider Jesus, met up at a haunt in Georgia, and I'd been messing around with TikTok, and I was getting some traction here and there, and I was like, dude, you gotta get on with the TikTok. But at this time there weren't a lot of haunters on it, right? So trying to convince people to get it on there, and Cody himself, I was like, nah, man, you really need to get on here. We made our first TikTok together at the Lake Joy Trail of Terror prison haunt. And it was us like lip syncing, because that's all it was. That's all like TikTok was. We were lip syncing to some Slipknot song, and it got like over 130,000 views. And then Cody was like, "Oh, wait a minute, there's something here." And I was like, "Yeah, dude, there really is something." And it wouldn't be like a year and a half later did Cody get one of his first like million views on the slider stuff. And then it just started picking up, and mine started picking up, and I couldn't get my Instagram to move. I'd had like, maybe 10,000 followers for like, I don't know, 2 years at best, and that was fine. That was good enough, but like it was TikTok that made it so everybody could see what sliding was. And there's still people to this day, they're like, why are you doing that? They don't know that it's part of haunted houses. They don't know that it's a scare tactic. And it's so weird to me, because like you said, yeah, it was one of those things that it was such a fun scare, but not everybody knew about it. You might be doing it by yourself at a haunt all night, and you might try to convince some of your friends to do it, and they're like, "Oh no, that's your thing, man," or whatever. And it doesn't always catch on. But nowadays, it's a whole new world.
But you're taking it even further than that. You're using props. You guys are gluing ferro rods to every single part of your body.
Yes.
Where do I mean how what's the R&D to this? Like where does all this come from?
So that's the craziest thing, is that where sliding originated in California, they don't spark. You can't spark at Not Scary Farm or any Cedar Fair park for that matter. It's banned because of the fire, the fire code, especially in California because it's so dry. But I had seen sliders at Netherworld sparking off their hands. They had a huge, trail of sparks, when they would go down a hill. I have one of the gloves here with me, the basic slider glove. All it ever really was the fingers. But now, You get these ferro rods on there, or one of these pucks that have the ferro rods in them. You glue them there, and you light up like crazy. And there were a couple people in the Midwest who started doing this, but again, it didn't catch on. It was just like on Facebook, and they were taking the Razor Spark scooter replacements from the scooters, and they were putting them into their ProTech knee pads, or they were putting them into the yeah, there they are. They were putting them into the Menards rockers, which, I mean, they're tough built rockers, but that's where the Midwest folks were getting them. And then, you know, Cody's, he made a contraption where it's just an entire brick of ferro, you know, and, you know, before you know, you're seeing everybody out Midwest, especially, either putting the pucks on the pads or putting them on the toes. You know, I make custom recaps that I embed the stuff into myself. But yeah, the sparking, the attention grabbing sparks, that's what did it, I think. You know, because there had been all kinds of sliding videos and stuff prior to that, but seeing, you know, a 6 to 7 second video of the sliding and the sparks together, you know, it went viral, you know.
So I want to talk about the things that you make here in a second, but I want to talk about something first. I'm going to show you something.
Yeah.
Explain nights like these to people that don't understand, like, how difficult it is to be a slider, you know, for 8, 9, 10 hours in a night nonstop. You know, I was one of those guys, and I knew plenty of sliders that wouldn't like take a break, because as soon as they stopped moving, their joints would start locking up. They would, you know, their body just wouldn't work anymore. They just had to
Yeah.
keep going. So explain some of your nights that ended not so great.
Oh, they're terrible. Like, my second haunt was Warehouse 31 down here in Pelham, Alabama, and the ground there was terrible. And this was at a time it was still at a time where I was still learning stuff about sliding, and, you know, it was ground that I shouldn't have been sliding on in the first place, but I really wanted to make it happen. So, you know, I was only getting like 4 to 6 foot slides with them, and I'd be burning through my pads, or worse, I'd hit a crack and the pad would slip. And that's like the worst nightmare ever. It gets yanked down your leg, and your kneecap meets that concrete, and it's just the gritty sandpaper. And yeah, I still got scars on my knees from it. But, you know, you put gauze on it, and you put some foam or whatever, and stick the pad right back on, and you keep going, because that was really the mentality, especially, you know, when you were a young slider, and anybody you talk to is like, you got to keep going. You know, it's pedal to the metal. I wiped out one particular night. It was right in front of like 6 or 7 guests. It was so embarrassing. And it was one of those times the pad had come down, and I just skidded my knee, and I just had to sit there and just wait for the shock of it to go over. I don't even know if I was in that much pain, but I was in the shock of, like, and sometimes you kind of know right about as you're going down that this is the one that's not going to work out. This is the slide that's going to make you eat shit, and you're going to get hurt.
Yeah, I think one of the worst ones for me was I was at Factory of Terror years ago, and I slid behind somebody, and she got scared, and her heel went right into my face and completely split my lip all the way down. And I was in the front, and I had to go to the back because I'm gushing blood everywhere. But the issue is this whole haunt's like has this giant midway. It's really the only way to kind of get to the back. So I'm walking through, and people are like, "You look so realistic. Can we take pictures with you?" I was like, "Yeah, just don't touch me."
Yeah. All right.
uh, looks like looks like we got a question here. I don't know if you can see that or not. Can you see that?
Will they spark on plywood? Could I build a ramp? So it depends on how rough the plywood is. It will spark, but probably not very good. You can slide on plywood, and I would imagine you'll go pretty fast, but it's not going to shoot, a whole lot of sparks.
I would figure with whether you used the pucks or the rods that it would probably actually tear up your plywood.
Yeah, there is a chance of that too. Depending on how the rods work. Like, so the particular styles, this rod, it's not going to slice anything up because of how it's angled and how it will like glide across. However, this puck here, do you see the little nubs? That will tear into your wood. And until like they're flushed, it could mess up the plywood. So there you go.
Now, for people that maybe don't have the best environment for sliding, maybe they got some gravel or some grass or, whatever, but they want to incorporate sliders into their show. What kind of tips and tricks would you give them?
So I realized that there's a lot that you can do to improve the ground. Grass isn't going to work too well. Gravel's not going to work too well. But, if you're on, busted up concrete that's just a little too rough, you can smooth it out by rubbing candle wax on it. And I mean, the patch that you are intending to slide on, you want to rub a bunch of candle wax. Skate wax is even better. You can make your own with vegetable oil and, a bunch of candles. That can significantly improve bad ground. Now, if you don't have any concrete at all and you got dirt and you still want to slide, again, you can lay a plywood ramp and you will slide down it. You will slide on it.
So let's talk about some of the things that you're making, because you're one of the first guys to actually kind of go to market with this kind of stuff. I mean, you go to, Transworld or MHC and some of these other shows, and you might see a booth that might have a set of gloves or, the old Allen Hop style set of gloves somewhere. But like, you really have a catalog of things that you offer for sliders. So let's talk about some of the things you offer.
Yeah. So one of the main things that I offer, which goes hand in hand with the bad ground, because I travel to a lot of different haunts, and you don't always know what you're going to get. But I always have a pair of recaps that I make, and they are over the knee pad. They're on like the outer shell of the base of the cap, and they're made out of high density polycarbonate. I mold them. They're all handmade, and they're designed to really take a lot of punishment. I've sold them to Carowinds, folks at Not Scary Farm. I've sold them to Netherworld. They're basically, they make it so you don't have to replace your pads. I was going through a pair of Protex at Warehouse 31 in one weekend, and that's 35, 40 bucks, and you're like, shit, I got to buy new pads. Yeah. So to avoid that, I make a recap that goes over it. So you just burn through the recap, rip it off, throw it away, and put on another pair. But I make them so thick these days that they should last you an entire season. A typical season that goes Friday, Saturday, Sunday, end of September, to October. That's one of the main things that I offer. And then I also have, the gloves. And again, I work with so many different sliders who slide a little bit different. Some people are more heavy-handed. Like, these ones are mainly just for sparking. But with a huge puck piece like this, you can put a lot of weight on this. Sliders who are heavy-handed, they put a lot of weight on their hands. They do a lot of all four slides. These are the kinds of ones that, you know, I make, and you can see they're super thick, and they're designed to cover, you know, most of the palm. They don't have as much mobility as the other gloves do, but again, people slide and they do it a little bit differently. Like the folks out in California, they slide to do more stunt work. They jump over people, they spin, they do a lot of their, you know, their main style, their main stunt is hopping over other sliders that are, you know, lying on the ground. So I make custom gloves for them. There's a spark stick that I make that extends, that was very much inspired by the video game Bloodborne. Pretty much weapons that, you know, transform or extend, and this was a wonderful thing. You know, you press a button and it's like Predator's spear. I don't have one on me right now. I'd show it to you, but even then, it wouldn't take up, you know, the whole camera wouldn't capture it. But yeah, I make a wide array of slider gear.
So, for people that are interested in getting into sliding as a slider, what kind of advice would you give them?
So there's a lot that sliders overlook, or people who want to be sliders, when it comes to the safety. I have tried to make budget-friendly gear, and I've tried to make it accessible. But I think as I have gotten older, you don't want to skimp on your gear, and it all starts with the knee pads. I won't recommend anything but ProTech or Killer 187's derby pads, because they have at least 2 inches of foam inserts in the knee, and you know, there's a lot you can. Just because you're young, you know, doesn't mean you can't mess something up. You know, you look at people who play football or any competitive sports. You want to protect that kind of stuff now, even if you think, well, you know, I'm young, I'm gooey, I can just heal and shit. You know, starting with a good pair of knee pads and getting the right gear and learning to do it the right way. Finding somebody, and there's plenty of people that you can talk to. You know, you don't just have to. There's sliders everywhere, and they all have really good opinions. And people who've been doing it for, I know sliders who've been doing it for over 20 years now, and they'll tell you that you really want to try to protect your knees at all costs. But yeah, safety first.
I'm definitely paying for that now. I'm missing quite a bit of cartilage in my knees after over 10 years of sliding. It's not, and it happens quick.
Yeah.
Like, it's one day you're like, I'm a little sore, and the next you're like, well, this wheelchair is fun.
Yeah.
You know? It's a rapid decline if you're not taking care of yourself. That's for sure. That's awesome advice. What about some techniques that sliders should, you know, take the chance on and practice doing this, and take the risk, and some techniques that they should stay away from?
So the things that you should practice first is, I always say, kneel to slide. So if you're running, you want to put one knee down first and let the other knee follow to slide. You don't ever want to do bam. Never jump and land on your knees. That is the quickest way to fuck up your knees. Just point blank. Always kneel to slide. Always, go down on one knee first, let the other knee follow. And that way you're getting a longer slide. It's a more controlled slide, and you're keeping yourself, centered and knees together. I see so many people slide. They'll slide and their knees do this. They spread out and then they slow down to a crawl. The most effective slide the scariest slide is the quickest, well, bam, boom, slide, and you get up and you're out of it. It's the pop up after the slide that is really important, because you want to get in, get your scare, get out. Coming into for this slow, freight train slide, it's not as effective, and it won't get you the kind of scare or the effect that you're looking for.
So tell us where we can find Pongo Joe.
Well, you can find me mainly on Instagram, Pongo_Joe. That's where if you want to order any of my gear or stuff like that, you can shoot me a DM. I always take PayPal and Venmo. You can find me on Facebook, same thing, Pongo Joe or Joseph Bodkin. And I am as well on TikTok, but it's hard to send DMs and stuff on TikTok. But I have a plethora of videos and stuff demonstrating some of the gear and all that that you can look on TikTok as well.
Are you available?
Am I available?
Can you go and train if somebody wanted to have you out to their haunt and train and teach and things like that?
Yes, I will be doing some trainings this summer. And it just depends on, the dates. I am going to be at Spooky Woods up in North Carolina, as well as 20 minutes down the road from that, Woods of Terror. And then I'm going to be teaching over at City of Chaos in Anniston, Alabama. So I got 3 workshops, and that's not just sliding. That's also acting as well. Sliding is kind of like a bonus as part of the workshop, but I teach a lot of the queue line acting and stuff. So I'm definitely available, this summer or, come September. I will book all the way up till the very beginning of haunt season.
And speaking of haunt season, where can we go to find you?
Awesome. So yeah, I'm going to be traveling around. I'm going to be doing some local haunts here in Alabama. You might see me at Nightmare 3008. I'm definitely booked up at Woods of Terror. That's always the 3rd weekend of October is Woods of Terror in North Carolina. Going to be at Lake Hickory Haunts, which is also in North Carolina. And I haven't confirmed this, but I'm thinking about going out to House of Torment out in Texas, and I love any excuse to go up to Chicago. I've worked for 13th Floor a couple times, so you might see me up there this Halloween as well.
Yeah, Chicago's a hotbed, man. I love it up there. It's incredible.
Mm-hmm.
What's in the future for you? What are you going to be doing next? What can we expect? What's the next big thing you're going to be doing?
Well, I always like to have a new character or a variation. I changed Pongo up around. This year he's a cowboy, and I'm leaning more into it. Because of the sliding and everything, and it's got this rootin' tootin' kind of vibe to it, and I think that's just a match made in hell there, I guess. And I'm also revamping my vampire character. That's something I'm always inspired by, like David Fincher and like Fight Club and stuff. So I'm leaning, heavy into that kind of realm of the 90s with my vampire. But yeah, more character creation and trying to bring out some new stuff for this coming season.
Well, for those of you who didn't know, Joe taught a very successful class down there at Fear Expo. We're hoping to have you back again to teach another class. So get that free education and that workshop in, because it's a class worth taking, not just for actors, for owners too. I mean, there's a lot of information there that Joe can help you get on the right path. And like I said earlier, I know Joe. So we've talked in passing a couple of times and stuff like that. He's a good dude. And he's very, very knowledgeable. So if you have questions, ask this man. He's got answers for you. I promise you. Wait, we got one more question. See if
How long did it take you to learn to twirl a 6-shooter? Yeah, that's part of one of my my hunter character. Again, I'm always inspired by video games. It was Metal Gear Solid. That took about 2 months. They're replicas. You can get them off of Amazon. They're the Colt 45 classic Western. They have weight to them. They absolutely have a good chunky weight to them. So it took about 2 months of consistent, 3 times forward, 3 times back, 3 times forward, 3 times back. I watched stuff like Tombstone, for reference. So yeah, it took some getting used to make that happen.
Nice. Nice. Joe, thank you so much for being on the show tonight. I appreciate you. I appreciate everything you do for this business. And as a former slider myself, thank you for carrying the torch and making it bigger, badder, and better than it's ever been. I can't wait to see what you come up with next.
Thank you. Thank you.
Follow him on Instagram. He's got a lot of cool stuff up there. Follow him on Instagram. What's your Instagram handle?
Pongo_Joe.
Hit him up. Follow him tonight. All right. I will see you hopefully at Fear Expo next year.
Yep. I'll be there.
Awesome. Thank you, Joe.
Hello.
What's up, Chris?
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you. What's going on, man?
All right. We have a hashtag that we had going through the night. Let me get up the.
But we were supposed to get 30 people, and we didn't. But
Well, I think that we can still do that.
I think we still can. I mean, it's not like we're following many rules, anyways. So
Yeah, you're right. We're not. Let me get
and Vic's a cool guy. We need to get his stuff out there.
No,
So
he
thank
is,
you, Vic,
he's
for stepping
amazing.
up tonight for the giveaway.
Okay,
So
give me
give it
1
up for
second.
Monster Misfits for sponsoring the show tonight.
Yep, let me get this up here in a second. We're trying out a new tool.
Zach said rules.
Okay, you see this?
See it.
Okay, so what we'll do is we have 5 entries. If you actually added Monster Misfits in your hashtag in your comments, it doesn't add up multiples. It just keeps. If you did it twice, you count as one person. Oh, Molly Zombie just did it again. So we have 5 entries, and we're gonna pick a winner. So hopefully, we don't think Vic did it. Did he?
I don't think he did.
Okay.
But Fear Expo and Fear Expo Live definitely did it twice.
Yeah. So we might have to do 2 drawings. So here's the drawing number 1 attempt. Are you ready, Steve?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, let's draw.
Nice.
Yes, I won. Wait, no, that was me. I won.
It can't be Fear
Guys,
Expo.
We're
Guys, that was me.
gonna draw again.
What? No, I won.
Because Doug has so much blood, he does not need any more blood.
What?
Let's try again. Let's try one more time. One more time. And if Doug wins again, then Doug wins. Oh!
No. This can't be.
Yeah.
You know what? I'm breaking the rules. From now on,
Yes, I am the
Fear-
winner.
Fear Expo cannot win. We're gonna give our giveaway to Dana Brown, or what is that? Dana Barnes. She was on there. She entered in, so we're gonna give it to Dana Barnes because Fear Expo can't win. We got to have some rules. Like Fear Expo can't win.
Doug logged in on Facebook and YouTube to win this thing.
He could go buy his own blood.
Yeah.
So Dana Barnes, congratulations! You're getting 8 ounces of Monster Misfits blood.
It's not
I'm
right.
sorry, you just got. I'm sorry, you just got backdoored. That's how that works.
Hey, Doug, how you doing?
Good. I
Good.
can't
Any,
believe I worked that hard to win, and I can't even win.
Work that hard to win. You logged
He's got-
into
he's
2
got, like,
platforms.
He's got 3 computers and cell phones. He's logged in everywhere trying to win. So,
All right.
hey, while we have you on here, why what's new? What's new with Fear Expo or HauntCon? Anything cool?
You know what? It has been a busy week. We are done, well, really close to done with our re-signs, and we are about 85% sold out for next year's Fear Expo.
I did see that. There's very limited, and a lot of them are single booths, single 10x10.
Yeah. So next week we are going to release the sign up for vendors, and it's going to go quick. I actually think we could be sold out by the end of next month for next year's Fear Expo as far as vendors.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think on Sunday before we left, I think we had at least more than 25% re-signs committed before we left on Sunday, which is fantastic.
Yep, deposits are in. Booth, almost everyone went to larger spots.
Yep.
And what this does is now we get to change our focus a lot earlier. So super excited that we can start focusing on the VIP day. We can focus on buyers. We can get out there and talk to haunts. And then on top of that, we have some really cool stuff we're going to announce this year that we're going to do next year. That's just going to take Fear Expo to that next level.
How was VIP year this year? What did everyone think of VIP day post Fear Expo?
No, I think it was. I mean, if you watched after the event, the amount of people who were posting pictures of them at the breakfast, pictures at the networking dinner, it was everything we planned. But I wasn't happy. I want to go just like Steve. We both looked at it and we said we can do better next year.
That's just like my natural disposition, though. Like, I'm never going to be satisfied with whatever we produce. Like, it's got to be better. Every year, it's got to be better.
So we're going to keep going. I mean, next year, it's we're throwing caution to the wind. It's just going to keep getting better.
Great.
So in case anyone was wondering, Tayan lost power. They have a major storm in Florida. That's why she disappeared halfway through the first guest, in case people were concerned.
I thought she was just like, I'm done with this. Boom, mic drop.
She could have been, but
well, I hope she's all right. I hope everything's gonna work out.
Yep, we do.
Molly Zombie's in Tampa. He lost power too. Will Molly Zombie be back to Fear Expo?
I'm sure Molly's got to be there.
Well,
she's got to bring her Sidewinder.
How far is Tampa from Orlando?
Or Slingshot.
Oh, Molly's coming to Orlando.
Yeah.
Molly will be there.
Good.
All right, I have plugs I got to do.
All right.
So let me get these plugs out of the way so we can all go to sleep.
Oh my goodness.
All right, I'm gonna go work on some show floor.
All right, I'm gonna leave it just to Steve to do some plugs, and then we got next Thursday, and we'll release our schedule for next Thursday in a day or two.
Yeah, actually, you know what? Before we go, I don't know if you guys already talked about this, but if you're interested in being a guest on, are we calling this Fearcast now?
Or Fear Expo, Thursday Night Live, whatever. Fearcast is the platform that we're launching the stuff on.
Thursday Night Live. If you're interested in being a guest, make sure you go to either HauntCon or Fear Expo. Hit the contact us and let us know that you'd like to promote your haunt, what you do for the haunt industry, or if you're a vendor, you'd like to promote your products. If you're a teacher, we're looking to do some education on here. So, and as we get closer to haunt season, I know we got a lot of really cool things planned with different haunted attractions coming up. And maybe some remotes. We might get Steve and Tayan out there to do some remotes and go and visit some people.
Halfway to Halloween's coming up.
I love
we
it.
We can do that. Hey, if you got
now trying to get people.
If you got a halfway to Halloween haunt and you want Tayan and I to be there, let us know. Yeah. Maybe we can make that happen. Maybe we can come to you and we could do a whole thing live from your haunt for halfway Halloween.
That's coming up. Usually, the second weekend of May?
Yeah, it's close. It's real close.
Mm-hmm. So how about this? Reach out to us at Fear Expo or HauntCon. Tell us that we want you that you want us there, or want to be on the show while you're doing it live. If it's we'll make a special night on that.
Yeah, but make it quick because Doug's got to buy plane tickets for us to be out there. So make sure it's quick.
Dana, you don't have to be a vendor to be on the show. You can be on here, as a haunt owner. You can be on here as an actor. You can be on here just to come on and talk with Steve because he is so fun to talk to.
Even if you're an enthusiast, let's talk about haunt stuff. That's all this is all about. We're all of us on the show, Fear Expo, HauntCon, the Ultimate Haunt Tour. If you're a part of the haunt industry, we want you a part of us. We want you to be a part of the show. We want you to be at Fear Expo. We want you to be at HauntCon and the Ultimate Haunt Tour. I mean, it doesn't matter. We want to hang out with our friends. I mean, that's what it all comes down to. We want to hang out with our friends, and if you're part of this crazy thing we call careers in the haunt industry, come on in. Like, tell us you want to be on the show. Tell us you just want to talk about your favorite horror movies or your favorite haunted attractions or whatever. It doesn't matter.
So how do plugs work? Are we doing plugs for anybody?
Yes, I'm gonna plug what I normally plug, and you got to be ready with the graphics.
Well, I have a plug.
Oh, great! It's gonna be send Steve pictures or something now, isn't it? Like, it's
No,
good.
actually, it's not as cool as that. But I do have a plug. If I'm allowed to show a plug for myself.
I mean, I guess.
Here we go. Ready?
Yes, we're ready.
All right, vote for my haunt. Factory of the Dead.
There you go. Chamber Bowl going on for the Haunters, or the Chamber of Haunters. Chamber Bowl.
I'll tell you what, we're getting whooped by this awesome haunt called the Hardyville Haunt right now. I need all the help I can get.
Get on there. Vote for Factory of the Dead. Show some love.
All right. Remove. Okay. Next. Now, Steve had a plug for, what did he tell me again? It was for...
You got to have all the graphics ready. Are you ready? They're going to come rapid fire.
I don't know. I need to know what they are.
You know how we've done this before. You know how to do this. All right, here we go. In January, we have HauntCon coming to Orlando,
that one's easy.
Florida.
That's
February 2nd through February 4th. Make sure you're there. This is the triumphant return of HauntCon. It's a haunt vacation for everyone. Come hang out in Orlando. It's going to be a great time. Molly Zombie's going to be there. There's a lot of great Florida haunts and haunters down there. I'm sure they're all going to be there. Yes, we do have, ready for the next one, an Ultimate Haunt Tour that's going to go down for Orlando and for Fear Expo, of course.
Well, I don't have a graphic for that because we don't have the haunts yet.
We don't even have a logo just for the Ultimate Haunt Tour?
You know what? I'm making a note, and I will have that for next time.
So make sure that there it is. There's one right there.
Right there. See, I came prepared. Look at the logo.
So not only will there be a Haunt Con, there will be an Ultimate Haunt Tour as well. And if you were on the last one, 6 haunted attractions in 2 states in 12 hours. It was absolute pandemonium. It was craziness.
And this time afterwards, Steve is throwing a after haunt tour hot tub party to relax.
Am I? I'm game. I'm good with that.
I need to check with the insurance company first.
And then, of course, coming in April, Fear Expo is back.
TaterCon.
Fear Expo is back in Owensboro, Kentucky. Where's the graphic for that, Chris? You got it. You got this. Bring it up.
I put it up. I took it down already.
It's our flagship show, and you don't even have the graphic up for it.
There we go.
In Owensboro, April 12th through the 14th. Same time, same place. You guys know, well, not same time, but the same place. So make sure you get your hotel reservations in advance. You heard Doug tell you that there's a lot of lot of space getting booked up already with vendors, and they're going to need rooms themselves. So if you want to be right next to the convention center, make sure you get that in quickly. And once again, there will be an Ultimate Haunt Tour for Fear Expo.
HauntCon.
Yes.
So we will be doing it again, just like we did for the last one. I heard some rumors. We haven't really done anything yet for that one, but I heard some rumors of where it might be. And if you think the last one was crazy, I do believe this next one's going to be insane.
I hope it's not as insane.
I think it's going to be 100 times insane, to be honest with you.
Alaska.
So stay tuned for all that information, because here sooner than later, as the days roll off the calendar, this information is going to be coming in rapid fire at you guys. So as we get it set up and as we know about it and everything's set in stone, we will give it to you. Zach wants to know, when will hotels open for Fear Expo? Want to make sure I can actually go to that early this time, or do vendors have a block?
So the hotel, I just got off the phone with them today. They've got almost everything done. The reason that it's taken them an extra week is because we actually doubled the size of our blocks for next year. So they're just getting everything ready. We almost have both hotels right next to us now.
They would pretty much have to at this point.
Yeah. Well, yeah, we sold out so early last year, and with us already almost selling out the show floor, I would say that we're going to release them by Wednesday, the hotels. By the time this show is on next Thursday, we should be able to say they are open for you to start booking.
So it'll give you some incentive to check out the show next week to see if the hotels are available or not, because like I said, this information is going to be coming in rapid fire, and all the information that you need for HauntCon, Fear Expo, and the Ultimate Haunt Tour you can find right here on this live cast. You can find on the Fear Expo HauntCon Facebook page and website, or you can just call Doug's cell phone, which his number is I'm not gonna give that to you.
616.
We are experiencing technical difficulty. Everyone's got my number already.
Yeah. So, like I said, we're working hard to make sure that this is going to go off perfectly, which it probably won't. It never does. But we're going to do the best we can, and we're going to make it fun and amazing and incredible. And we're just, every year, we're going to strive to be better and better and better. And we hope you are there and coming along for the ride. I'm done. Doug, Chris, do you have anything?
I'm good. I just am bummed out I didn't get that blood I won. Vic, I'm calling you. I need blood.
I'm sure.
Somebody give this guy some blood.
I'm sure next April there'll be a place where you'll be able to see Vic, and I'm sure he'll take care of you.
Yeah, I'm sure.
All right, I'm good. You guys good?
I'm good.
All right, we will see you guys next week.
See you next week.